am at Honolulu International Airport after my Delta flight from Boston, and I will be continuing with Southwest Airlines over to Lihue. My aircraft for this flight will be a Boeing 737 MAX 8 with the registration N8789Q and was delivered directly to Southwest Airlines in November of 2022. Southwest Airlines operates a pretty interesting route map here in the state of Hawaii, operating a total of 7 routes between the islands, with their main inter-island base being Honolulu and their secondary base being Kahului on Maui. Most of their inter-island flights connect with flights from the mainland, although there are a few that do start in the early morning and just continue to go between the islands during the day. For example, my aircraft bringing me over to Lihue was coming in from San Jose, California, and there were a lot of people coming in from San Jose that were connecting back out onto the same aircraft to Lihue. One thing I did notice about my flight is that a majority of it was definitely tourists, as the local people in Hawaii tend to want to get on board Hawaiian Airlines versus Southwest. Not that there aren't locals on board these Southwest flights within the islands, but it is definitely mostly tourists. With the airline's current open seating policy, I chose 6F, a window on the right side of the aircraft. Short flight, so let's start to go over some of the seat features. I'm 5'4" for reference, and I had a decent amount of legroom, although it does help when you have nobody in the middle seat next to you. In the seat back pocket there is a safety card as well as an in-flight menu, which doesn't really come in handy for this flight, as they won't be doing a service on these flights between these islands. On the seat back of this aircraft there is a USB-A as well as a USB-C port. It was interesting that they kept the landing lights on for the entire flight, although it did make for some interesting video during the flight. There is is obviously also a tray table, but because there is no service during these flights between the islands, there's no point in taking it out. As this flight was after dark, and we were over the open ocean, there was not really anything to see during the flight, and the flight was too short to do a service, so I pretty much stared at the engine for the entirety of the flight. The good news with these inter-island flights is they are usually on the shorter side, with this one being under 30 minutes, and pretty much as soon as we got to our cruising altitude, we began our descent into Lihue.
Southwest Airlines and especially this flight crew, I'd like to be the first to welcome you guys to Līhuʻe. Please remain safe with your seatbelts securely fastened at this time.
That was a nice quick flight on Southwest between Honolulu and Lihue, although I probably wouldn't try it again for the sole fact that I can find Southwest 737s on the mainland, but I cannot find Hawaiian 717s on the mainland. Southwest Airlines pretty much does not do any service of any kind on these inter-island flights. Hawaiian Airlines does. And what is the point of flying all the way to Hawaii and then flying on a Southwest Airlines 737 anyways? No offense to the airline, but if I'm going to be flying within the islands, I would rather fly on a Hawaiian 717. However, this is a good backup plan as Southwest operates one of the last Honolulu to Lihue flights of the night, both for Hawaiian and Southwest, so if you do have a flight that was delayed getting into Honolulu and Oahu, this is a pretty good option to get you where you need to go as the flights are usually open in the evening, which is exactly how I ended up on Southwest instead of Hawaiian for this flight into Lihue.